All right. Can you hear?
I can hear. Can you hear?
I can hear. I am here.
Are we
Los
recording?
Cracker. Beer.
Nice. That was a good one.
That was all right.
Couch Beers
Republic.
Podcast, episode 42.
Wow, we're getting up there.
I would like to quickly address what happened last time. So, every time we do this, I set it up, and I triple check that it's recording on my computer. As I just did. You watched me do it. But last time, I did not check. Usually there's like, in the recording software, there's like the microphone levels. So we can see, like, as I'm talking, the little green bar jumping across the screen.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't check that last time, which was a problem because I think I've described it before, but we have the microphones connected into an audio interface, which is feeding audio out into a headphone amplifier, feeding back to our headphones. That was all powered up and working because we could hear ourselves talking. Right. But what it was not doing was it was not plugged into my computer to record the audio while we're talking. So we just had the video.
So you dropped just the video, right?
No, I didn't.
Oh, you didn't?
I didn't, no.
Oh, that would have been great.
We talked about that at the wedding, and I literally would have had like 5 hours to do it probably by the time I got home on Sunday.
Oh, yeah.
And then left on Monday.
You could do episode 41 and a half or something. I don't know.
I already decided we're just going to call this one episode 42.
I was going to say, you could just dub up like a episode 7 over.
We got to see how long it takes someone to notice. We got to come up with like a backstory for why we don't have an episode 41.
Oh, so you skipped from 40 to 42?
Yep.
That's awesome.
Yep.
Well,
I did post on Instagram that episode 41 was canceled.
Hashtag canceled. I did not. I'm not a big Instagram goer. I download it once in a good while.
That was our most liked Instagram post
of all
in a long time, maybe ever.
How many likes did it get?
About 6.
16. 600 million.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Well, geez, you kind of look tan. You look happy. You look like
I just spilled beer on myself.
You've got a lot of extra, weight hanging on your left hand.
That is true.
So that's one ring to rule them all, I guess, right? I mean,
yeah.
Is that how it works?
Pretty much.
Kind of rings of power. You're into that.
Everyone said it's like it feels weird at first, but you get used to it in a couple weeks. I got used to it in like 2 days. Like by
marriage
day 2,
or wedding ring?
The ring. The ring. No, marriage doesn't really feel any different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe
I've heard people
tax
say
time.
that is true. I've heard people say both, that it doesn't feel any different and that it feels very different.
Are they both happily married?
Yeah.
Interessante.
Yep.
Cool. So walk me through what happened the last 2 weeks. I didn't think you were coming back.
So, yeah, we had the wedding. That was pretty cool. You were in attendance.
Yeah, tell me about that.
You had a sweet shirt on.
Tell me about that.
So, let's see. We went out to Appleton. What would it have been? Wednesday. The wedding was on a Saturday. So, Liz and I got there early. We didn't have that much stuff to do, so we kind of just were hanging out. She went and got her nails done, and
you didn't join her, huh?
No, I did not. I was invited. I said thanks, but no thank you. I don't really remember what I did while she was doing all that stuff. My parents got there on Thursday, so I went and saw them and saw some of my family and ate pizza and whatever. Friday, I think that's actually when Alyssa went to get her nails done.
So what did she do while you were doing nothing on Thursday?
I don't remember. She was doing something. Anyway, not important. Friday, we went. The venue texted us and said, hey, we got a bunch of the stuff set up if you want to come. So we went over on Friday night before rehearsal and everything and just kind of dropped off the little stuff that we were bringing. Because actually our florist did most of the decorating, which was super nice. Our florist was also Alyssa's cousin.
Oh, I was going to say, is that extra?
Well, no, I mean, like, flowers was one of the more expensive things that we did. Like, I didn't realize that was going to be a case. I mean, I was telling everybody. Somebody would ask me a question, be like, I don't know, it's my first time. But
And my last, hopefully.
yeah.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah. So, like, that was kind of surprising to me in the whole wedding process that flowers were as expensive as they were. Like, the flowers were more expensive than the band, I'm pretty sure.
So I don't want numbers, but if you had to rank most expensive to least expensive, like top 5 things, what would you say? I mean, would you say like flowers, band, venue, meal? I guess I don't know.
It's so the venue, like, comparatively is actually pretty cheap. Like,
okay, comparatively. Ooh.
Yeah. So the venue was about half the cost of the flowers.
Can I guess?
No,
not numbers.
That's not true. Actually, that's not true.
I don't want to guess numbers, but I want to guess the ranking.
Okay. So here, I'll list off kind of the 5 big things I can think of.
Okay.
Food and drink, band, venue, flowers, photography / videography, because we did both. They were 2 separate, but we'll just stick them together.
Okay. Yeah. Let's see here. I think the first thing is probably the engagement ring.
No.
Okay.
No, that was not the most expensive thing.
All right. Well, all right. You heard it from Timberly.
That would.
No.
I think that would rank number 2
Ooh.
on that. If you stuck that into that list.
Okay. Good to know.
Yeah.
So if I'm going to rank them based on the list you provided, I'm going to say venue's probably number 4.
Out of, did I say 5?
5. I think you did. I was counting them on my fingers if people are watching. But
I think on that list,
well,
venue. Oh, sorry.
So that's 4.
Okay, here, let me write these down.
Yeah. So number 4 is you write down the list and then I'll just rank them. So and this is me, despite what you just told me as flowers being super expensive, me not knowing. I do know from prior weddings or other weddings that people always say what you said. Whoa, flowers, WTF. So I'm going to put flowers at number 3.
Okay.
Because I feel like food and drink is got to be number 1. And number 2's got to be the venue. And then, so I already said 4. So 5 has got to be the band. But I really want to put the band at number 4 now.
You already put the venue at number 4.
Wait, did I have 3? Is 3 open?
You had food and drink at number 1, flowers at number 3, venue at number 4.
Okay, band number 2 then.
Okay.
I'm sure the listeners are like, what the hell?
Then the photographer you put at number 5.
Let's swap 4 and 5.
So venue at number 5.
Gosh, that doesn't seem right, but I think that is right.
Photographer number 4. Band at number 2.
I have to look at can I look at the list?
Yeah.
So food and drink I put at 1, flowers I put at 3, photo number 4, venue. And whatever, the band must be number 2, right? That's what I would say.
So, I mean, you're not far off. The food and drink was the most expensive. It was probably over twice the photographer and videographer, which would be number 2.
Wow. Okay. So
and then
food and drink, photographer. Sorry.
Yeah.
I'm just saying this out loud to repeat what you're saying. So
the
food right and drink, order.
Photographer / videographer.
Okay.
Then you had flowers. So you had food and drink, band, flowers, photographer / videographer, venue. The real ranking would be, from my memory, food and drink, photographer and videographer, flowers, band, venue last.
Wow.
Yeah.
So I was kind of close, but I guess I'm just thinking like when you throw, it's interesting when you talk about just certain things, right? And then you're like, okay, obviously, like that's probably this price and that price. But when you actually like lay them out, you're like, oh, like I guess like the venue is X, but videographer and and photography, it's like those two combined, yeah, probably more. Like when you lay it out, like when you just talk about things, again, flowers. excuse me. I was just thinking like, oh, flowers. But then when you think about it, it's like every person that I know has been married has been like flowers. Like that was the secret, like
Yeah.
stab in the gut or whatever that no one saw. That the lance that pierced Jesus's stomach. I mean, everyone saw it, but
Was Jesus stabbed by a sword?
a lance. I said
Is a lance a sword? Or a lance is like
a
the
spear,
stick, like the
like a spear, right? Like a
The
Roman
jousting
spear.
guy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
kind of. Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, I mean, you weren't far off, but I did give you
Wasn't
some
far.
hints.
On either.
Yeah.
So okay, if you could, I mean, I don't want to.
Just like, also I should say,
Yeah.
from talking to other people, like other friends and stuff that are getting married, have been married, I think it is kind of like, I think our venue was on the cheaper side, which was funny because, like, of all the compliments that we got, like people come up to me or Belinda, like probably the most compliments we got were for the band, and then second would be the venue. Like that was probably like the most compliments. But
Yeah, if I'm being honest, the food was good, but I don't remember it because
yeah.
I was having so much fun with the band and
I will say,
taking it all in. A lot of natural light too.
yeah, a lot of people complimented the food too, but I will say the flank steak was better when we tested it, like when we went to do it, because they cut it really thin. Like they did like the thin, long slices, where
Sure.
this one was almost like rectangular chunks.
Yeah, again, I don't know if I don't know what it was, but I had a very good time at your wedding.
Yeah.
If you're listening to this or watching this, put in the comments your favorite Zach moment or Rooster.
I have a question for you, actually. I was wondering about this today.
Yeah.
Did anybody come up to you and say like that they knew you from Couch Beers?
No. If they did, I don't remember.
Because I did, like, at the rehearsal dinner, I did hear my mom say to you, "You look different in person," even though she's met you in person before.
Yeah, I know. I do recall that because I was like, oh, or no, it kind of felt like a Roadhouse. I thought you'd be taller. Like I felt like that. I think there was maybe your mom and one other person that was like, "You're different in person," and I was like, I don't think it was Brianna. It could have been Brianna.
Because she's met you too.
Yeah, she's met me too. She said me the first time I met her in person, I think, is when she's like, "You're different in person."
Yeah.
But, well, you the secret's out, right? I told you what I did or what I thought of at the wedding.
You loved the band.
Well, I love the band, but no,
I want to say, I'll share this story. We were talking about this before we started recording.
Okay.
You came up to me about like 4 or 5 or 6 or 7 or 8 times.
Okay.
And Belinda said this too, that you said this to her about the band, that you were just psyched about it. You're like, "These guys are so good." You're like, "I feel like I'm at a concert at First Ave, but there's actually room to dance."
Fact.
Yeah. Yeah, it was funny.
It was sick.
They were really good. Yeah.
They were really good, and I honestly did feel like it was like a concert.
Yeah.
Because it was light enough so where you could see like where your drinks and kind of where your stuff
exactly.
was, but
Yeah.
dark enough to where if you were looking facing the band, it was dark enough to where you're like, oh, this could be like
A
I
real
could be
concert.
at a venue. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like it was, so that's where I was like, I was forward facing the whole time.
Yeah.
Unless my eyes were closed and I was just dancing, like the music take me. But
Yeah. My friend Brendan also said, he's like, "This is like the best ticket in town tonight." Something like that. It was awesome.
he's not wrong.
Yeah. It was fun.
No, so the thing, so this was a concept so I'm not going to hijack your wedding day story.
No.
But the Thursday, I'm going to call it a professional awakening. So whatever. So I had this professional awakening where I was like, okay, I was essentially doing Severance, where I was a different person at work and I was a different person outside of work. So, and they were eating each other.
Yeah.
Well, really the work one was eating the the personal one. So I was negative. I was reclusive. I didn't want to do anything. I was really negative. So I was like, Anyway, so I had a heart-to-heart with myself and my boss.
Mm-hmm.
And anyway, he said this. He's like, work makes you a better husband, brother, father, a better person.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, you have to be one person. The same person you are outside of work is the same person you are at work.
Mm-hmm.
And so like that resonated with me. There's a lot more behind it we don't have to get into. But so I had this awakening. I was like, okay, I'm one person now. I'm on board. I've drank the Kool-Aid. I'm in, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I believe it's so my ritual when I'm at an airport is I get there like psychotically like 2-3 hours early.
Yeah.
And then I just find a bar really and have a beer or two and just kind of ease into the flight kind of thing where it's like I'm not trying to get drunk or anything. I'm just like, this is like, all right, nothing's changed. Of course my gate changed, but I was like, all right, whatever. But so I do all that. Sorry. And so I was like, oh, you know what would be funny? I said it would be funny if I said there's a lot of people who aren't going to know who I am at this wedding.
Yeah.
And I said, what would be funny in my eyes is if these people that are very close to Tim and Belinda go up to Tim and Belinda and say, damn, you have a really cool friend named, and I blanked it out and I'm like, yeah, I was like, I need to create like this, I need to make a good impression on people and I need to, I want Tim and Belinda to be like, who the hell are you talking about? And so I was like, what was that? And it's like, it popped in my head. I don't know how. It may have been subliminal or whatever, but Rooster, I thought is a funny name that's easily rememberable kind of thing.
Yeah,
so
yeah. You've done this before too. Like
have I?
I've heard, not Rooster, but I've heard you introduce yourself as like Griffin or like some name. I'm trying to remember. No,
Mark.
It was like, I want to say D'Artagnan, but I don't think you actually called yourself D'Artagnan.
It was probably like there is a D.
I swear it was like a G, like something with a G. But I have heard you. I have heard you introduce yourself to people.
Yeah, but see, those are like names that people can be like, oh, like that could be his name.
Right.
But
right.
Rooster, it's like that's not on your birth certificate, brother.
Yeah.
So that's where. So what I came up with in real time. So this is the first time I used it was with your
my uncle.
Your
right?
uncle.
Yeah, you told me this.
And I said, hey, I'm Zach, but you can call me Rooster. And it was like the coolest thing ever is because it's like I did it so smooth and so beautifully to where it was like the handshake, we were engaged, and then he pulled me closer to confirm, Zach, Rooster? Like to confirm, like,
yeah,
like I can call you Rooster? And I was like, yeah. And then he's like, all right. And I was like,
did he actually call you Rooster ever?
I don't know.
I'm pretty sure you told me which of my uncles it was, and he definitely would have called you Rooster. Like,
yeah, so
he would have thought it was cool. He would have been like, yeah, that's awesome.
Both your uncles, they were like, oh, like, because I talked to them later. I was like, you guys need to get out there on the dance floor, otherwise the band's gonna walk off. Like they said if they see more than 4 people sitting at a time, they finish their song and then they clear. So, and they're like, ha 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 ha, Rooster, and I'm just like, ha ha ha. I wish I was kidding. I said, do you know how much they paid for this band? And they were like,
you did not.
I did the Minnesota Nice guilt trip. I twisted that knife real hard to a lot of people, and they got out on the dance floor.
If it's the
you're welcome.
If it's the uncle I'm thinking of, I did see them the next day because my parents had like a little brunch thing at the house they were staying at, and he didn't say anything about it, but that is pretty funny.
I did it to both your uncle. I did it to everyone that I saw sitting. Yeah, I was like, hey, and I probably looked like a madman because I was like, my shirt was pretty much unbuttoned and I was sweating like a mofo. And I was like, oh my God, out of breath probably. Like, they're going to walk off. So in my head, it was a cool, calm, collected, like, the band is going to.
I will say, like, that was something that Belinda and I had talked about beforehand. Because, like, like you go to weddings and there's a DJ playing or whatever, and there's not really people on the dance floor.
Right.
She was like, "Do you think that's going to be our wedding?" I was like, "I don't think so, because like a lot of my friends, they'll get after it on the dance floor." And we went to a couple of Alyssa's friends from like weddings the last couple of years, and both of them, like all her friends from that group, were out on the dance floor the whole night,
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, no, I think we're good. And I was pretty impressed with our dance crew, because like all through the night, even like the band takes a break, I was like, okay, now people are gonna disperse, go get a drink, take a break, sit down.
Mm-hmm.
And they just were playing music through the speakers, like off a iPod or something, right?
Right.
And nobody left the dance floor the whole time.
Yep.
Like they played, I don't know, like 8 or 9 songs just off an iPod, and nobody left. It was full the whole time. It's pretty cool.
So that's the other thing. So kudos to the band. So in addition to making it feel like a concert,
Mm-hmm.
they played a lot of kind of their funky version of like modern hits
Yeah.
or wedding hits.
Right.
And like, I was just like the subtle twist that was theirs
Mm-hmm.
made it like me like glued to the dance floor. That
Yeah.
was the cool thing,
Yeah.
where I was like,
Yeah.
well, what? I was like, I was about to go get a drink, and now I'm just not going to, because this is a bit banger, bangers only.
Mm-hmm.
But
I will say though, the only time that I saw the dance floor kind of clear out was when they played the Wolfpack song, because they had us request a bunch of songs to play during the breaks, and I was like, you got to play a Wolfpack song, right?
what song was it?
1612. So I was pretty much out there dancing by myself.
I thought I was going to break my neck because I was vibing with the bass player hardcore. Like,
what was his name? Doug?
I think it was Doug.
Yeah.
It's going to be Doug from here on out.
Yeah.
But like, I just remember being like, I was telling everyone.
Greg. It was Greg.
Greg, yeah.
Yeah.
Greg, Doug.
Yeah.
I bet Greg and Doug are brothers.
Probably.
But I remember telling everyone, I was like, that man gets all the ladies.
He was good. And like, she had him play a bass solo pretty early on, and I was waiting for him to start slapping the bass. He really didn't. But then later on, like during their songs, he was slapping away.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah, no. Nice home run on that one. I mean,
yeah.
Considering
they were
what was the story? I'm going to tell it poorly, but like
you want me
the
to
original.
just tell it?
Well, let me tell my story, and then you correct
yeah,
it. So how I understand is you booked a different band, and then like 2 days before, they're like, sorry, like, we all have our colonoscopy the next day. We can't do it. Here's this band though. If you like us, you'll like them.
Mm-hmm.
And you were like, YOLO, do it. But that's what I heard.
So not quite.
Okay.
There's like one company that like manages a bunch of different bands
Okay.
in like eastern Wisconsin. And so like for like a couple of weeks, Belinda and I were going through their whole website. They probably had like 50 bands on there.
Oh, damn. Hot damn.
And so we picked out like 3 or 4 that we really liked. And last summer we went over to Green Bay, and like they're always playing at bars and stuff around the area. So we kind of just hopped around to a few different bars in Green Bay and checked them out. And there was one band that we really liked, and they were on the cheaper side. Like, I think of all the ones we saw, they were the cheapest one, but they were the one we liked the most. Like, I think they just were newer. Like, they hadn't been.
They're trying to get their name out there.
Yeah, yeah. And so we like, with the management company, we're like, yeah, let's book them. They were available for our weekend or whatever. And they're like, okay, sounds good. And then like a month later, maybe not even that long, maybe it was only a couple weeks, the management guy reached out and was like, look, I'm really sorry, but one of their main guitarists is getting married the same day. And he didn't tell like their band leader or whatever.
Nice.
So we're like, okay, no big deal. Like, we're like, okay, so like, kind of, we liked them. Who else do you have that's kind of like them that you might recommend?
Yeah.
And he was like, we got this one, whatever. And the Third Wheels is the one that we picked. And he said that, like, he's like, yeah, it's kind of lucky they're still open for your weekend because they're our third most requested band. Or maybe it was like second most. I don't remember. Because there was one that was like twice as expensive as the rest of them, but they've been like playing together and they're like well known in eastern Wisconsin.
Okay.
They're like the number one that he manages.
Numero uno.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we're like, we listened to some of their music online. They had like a I don't know 12-minute set that they had recorded where they just like kind of played through different songs and stuff. And we're like, yeah, they're pretty good. They're kind of funky. Like the other band wasn't even really that way. They just kind of played the songs, but they were entertaining. Like when we were at the concert.
Sure.
Whatever. And we're like, okay, let's go with them. And so we never saw them. Alyssa's parents and sister, who live in Appleton, went and saw them. But Alyssa was just telling you the story. They only played like 3 songs before they got rained out. And like, I trust Alyssa's sister. She's really big into music. So she was like, yeah, they're pretty good. Like, I think you'd like them. So we're like, let's do it. And they were awesome.
Yeah. I mean,
they were better than I could have hoped, I think.
Yeah. No, I mean, home run again. I think that was a home run. So
yeah.
Grand Slam, is that better than a home run? I don't.
There was times like throughout the wedding where I kind of forgot that it was my wedding, you know? Because like I've been to so many weddings like the last few years with a bunch of friends getting married and stuff, where it just felt like another one of those. Like I was taking a picture with Brianna and her husband Tyler, and so like they had their 2 kids. They were in the picture with us, and the photographer like walked away, and Brianna's like, "Can we do another one without the kids?" I was like, "Yeah, let's do it." And then I was just kind of waiting for the photographer. She was like talking to somebody or whatever. Mm-hmm. And I was like, wait a minute, it's my wedding. I can go tell her to take a picture of us. So I walked over and was like, hey, can you take another picture? She's like, yeah.
Yeah, no, that's, I imagine that's got to be something that I will feel someday.
Yeah.
Knock on wood, hopefully.
Yeah.
Where it's like, oh, I'm the guy.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, it's a weird feeling, I think. When
you kind of felt like a celebrity.
Yeah.
Like just a little bit. And
star power.
Yeah. Yeah. And, yeah, it was fun. I told my mom like that night, I think it was actually during my mother's son dance. I was like, this feels like when you're a little kid and you're so psyched for your birthday party, you know? Mm-hmm. But it's like on a whole nother level because like every single person that you love is there and they're all there to be with you. It's pretty special.
Yeah, no, that's what it's all about, right?
Yeah.
It's like, don't invite the people you don't want there to share that moment, right? I mean, it's like, in my opinion, I guess, I don't know.
Yeah.
There's like, to me, there's 2 sides of the coin. So one side is your wedding, you invite who you want. Mm-hmm. It's your day, you know, all that stuff. Then there's I'll call it the political side of, like, I'll give this example, and I won't give names or any whatever, but I knew somebody who's like, it's my wedding. I don't know these people, mom and dad. Why would I invite these people? I don't know these people. Mm-hmm. I don't want them at my wedding. And it was well, we're paying for it, so we get what we want. Yeah. And so it was like a strong arm, like, and I just remember I was like, wow, like, that card will not be played with me.
Yeah.
Like I said, yeah, whatever. I pretty much said that doesn't work for me.
I've heard of that happening before.
But I mean, I get it to some extent. You know, there's the other side. The other side of the same coin is, well, $20 is $20, right? I mean, like, or $25, $50 is maybe worth $200 in gift cards or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, maybe you'll get it back in a different way. But
yeah,
sometimes the motion or the motion. I don't want to say the motion. The whatever. There's a lot of ways to look at a wedding and stuff. So
I will say we got more money, like, from gift cards and cash and checks and stuff just in the carts than I expected. Like, I guess I didn't really know what to expect, but
Yeah, I can't remember what I gave you. I think I gave you Home Depot and a Amazon gift card. I think I gave 100 in Amazon gift cards and 50 in Home Depot, and I was like, Belinda gets more than you or something like that.
Well, too bad because I spent the Amazon gift card.
And she went to Home Depot.
She did not, but I already made a plan of what I'm gonna buy. I'm gonna buy some weed and feed fertilizer.
Excuse me? Oh,
Yeah,
I was gonna say
I don't think
it's
they
legal.
I don't think they sell weed at Home Depot, but they do sell weed and feed fertilizer.
Yet. Yeah. Well. Yeah. What is it? I went. That was my thing. I think I wrote it in the card too. If you opened it, I don't know if you did. I tried to look at your registry at Target, and
yeah, you did.
The only way to look at it was to like register for a Target account.
Yeah.
And I was like, I have a problem with that. Nope, won't do that. So
I will say,
I didn't do it.
The Target registry, like, I think more people bought stuff off the Target registry than the Amazon registry, which surprised me.
Yeah.
But it was such a big pain in the ass to use because, like, literally you log into the Target website and you can, like, buy stuff, right? Yeah. And then if you want to look at your registry, you have to log in again just to open the registry and look at it. Like when we filed it in there or whatever and we're adding stuff.
That's crazy.
It was like you had to log in twice to be able to use it. Like, why is that a thing?
Yeah, really foolish. And again, I was like, I am not signing up for a Target account for Tim and Belinda. It's like, I love them dearly, but it's like, you know what? Cash is king. But restricted cash to where you can spend it is even higher king.
Alyssa did have a friend that got married. That got married last summer. That said she was surprised, or she wished more people bought stuff off the registry than gave them cash. And I was like, in my mind, I'd rather have cash because I can use it for whatever I want. Like, I put a lot of stuff on our registry that like would be nice to have, but I probably wouldn't buy for myself. Mm-hmm. Which is like, I'm like, if somebody else is going to pay for it, sure. Like, if you want to buy a present instead of giving me cash, like, go for it. But I was surprised more people, like, as many, like, I think our Target registry almost got bought out.
Nice.
And the Amazon one was like,
not even close.
Over 50% probably.
Nice. Well, sorry I didn't contribute to that. I gave you Amazon gift cards and Home Depot gift cards.
You're very generous.
I think I'm going to register at Harbor Freight.
Can you?
If not, I'm going to cause a PR nightmare for them.
That actually would be pretty sweet. I don't know how many
Can you imagine?
I don't know how many people would actually buy stuff for you from Harbor Freight.
Even Menards or something.
Yeah.
You know, it's just
I bet you can there.
Yeah, I bet you can too. I mean, if Menards has an app where you can like build a house with the materials they offer, it's like
they'll figure it out.
So, but yeah, cool. Well, anyway, success. You're still married.
Still married. Yep. We actually
you're not.
No. Yesterday we went fun fact, Belinda got a new car. And the dealer was like, the salesman guy was talking to us. He's filling out his paperwork. He wants to see my ring. He's like, "Oh, how long have you guys been married?" And Alyssa's like 3 weeks.
Nice.
He was like, I said something like, "Yeah, we figured the wedding and the honeymoon weren't expensive enough. Let's buy a new car."
Was he like, haha?
Yeah.
Typing or can't multitask, or was he pretty good about it?
He was a hunt and pecker, so he's kind of an older guy. He's pretty slow.
Oh, so he was a index finger or something.
So I distracted him while he was typing in his email address. It took him a lot longer.
Could you say that again to me?
Yeah. But yeah.
Is it in the garage?
It is.
I might have to take a peek.
We can go look.
Yeah.
Afterwards.
Correct me. It's a Toyota RAV4 hybrid.
Correct.
Super wagon.
It is a Toyota RAV4 hybrid. It's a XLE Premium. It's like, I think it actually might be like one of the top 2 trim levels.
So what you're saying is you're just rolling in dough.
Hey, I didn't pay for it. Belinda did.
Hey-o.
I guess what's mine is hers and what's hers is mine.
Hell yeah. That's the way to look at it, my man.
Yep.
So just buy a bunch of stupid stuff that she doesn't see value in.
Yeah, it seems like a great way to start a marriage. Like,
yeah.
like, hey, sweet, let's combine our bank accounts and then just start buying stuff.
Tim, do we have to have the conversation?
Yeah. No.
It's like, why are we buying all this ether?
I did tell her, we were talking about this for like the last, I don't know. We made a joint bank account like
You
after we got
rolled
engaged.
a joint bank account.
What does that mean?
You rolled a joint bank
No.
account.
Oh no. No. We let's see. She opened a savings account at a local credit union. I'm glad you thought that was so funny.
Continue. I'm listening.
She opened when she bought her house because she was from Wisconsin. She had an account at a Wisconsin credit union, but she had to like, I don't remember why. She had to like transfer the money over to a Minnesota account to write a check for her down payment on the house or something like that. Sorry. So she had an account at a credit union here. So we opened a joint checking account for the wedding. So like,
yep.
Yeah.
So wait, you opened a Minnesota checking account for the Wisconsin wedding.
Correct.
Interesting. Okay. I follow.
Your face was lit up red, and I think you were losing oxygen. You might have missed the first part, but
I'm listening. Yeah,
she opened it because she had to put a down payment on the house here.
Yep. Yeah.
So anyway, we already had talked about how we were going to use like joint accounts and stuff, and I was like, I think we should just have a joint account. We put money in to save for big things like house, vacations, stuff like that, and then just have our own separate, like, because we both have careers, have our own separate accounts that we use for like buying stuff for ourselves or whatever.
And the other one, surprise bracelets and rings and stuff.
Right. And
Christmas presents.
Come on. She's like, yeah, I think that makes sense. And I was like, yeah, because like I don't remember if we were like watching something on TV where this was a thing, but if you like, there was a couple that had only joint accounts, and whenever one of them wanted to buy something, they had to have a discussion. I was like, I don't want to have to ask you for permission every time I want to buy like a new vinyl album or something. That just seems, yeah, that just seems like a annoying thing.
No,
like
I would agree.
Like an adult with an allowance or something.
I would agree with that. I think it's like, to me, yeah. I mean, obviously, I'm not married and all that, but the way I look at it is like, you have like one, I guess, bank that's joint with 3 accounts, and it's like one's vacation fund, one's whatever joint expenses, third's X. I don't know what it is, but it's like, and then you fund those equally, and then whatever's you don't fund is yours to spend as you wish, kind of thing.
Yeah.
And if it's a big purchase like a car or lake home or something, that's where it's like, well, we got to talk about it, but otherwise you're autonomous and you can buy your own stuff and keep what you both make hidden in secret from each other, so you guys don't know how much.
Yeah. I mean, we definitely talk about that kind of stuff. Like, we're both pretty open about
secrecy.
Our thoughts on
You're open about secrecy.
We're open
That's
about
interesting.
Secrecy, correct? Yeah. But yeah, she got a new car yesterday. I was gonna bring this up after the honeymoon, but now I feel like it's the appropriate time to talk about it.
It is after the honeymoon, is it not?
No, I just meant I was gonna talk about the honeymoon and then bring this up.
Yeah.
But I don't know when the last time you bought a car at a dealership was, but it sucks.
Like, how long did it take?
It took like, it wasn't even about the length. It was about the interactions. So they try to hard sell you on different stuff, right? Like
the things that aren't important to you.
Well, so she picked out the car, right? And she was like, she knew exactly what she wanted. She went in and said, I want this package with this option and this option and this option, right? And the guy's like, ooh, I don't know. Like, it's going to be a while. You're going to have to wait a long time. You know, if you really want that color, or you really want this option, it might take longer.
Mm-hmm.
You should just get something else instead or be more open. She's like, no, if I'm spending this money on this car, I'm getting what I want, right? And so she was already annoyed. I wasn't with her when she went and ordered it. But yeah, she was annoyed at that. And then when we got there yesterday, like she said, like during the whole process after that, he was really helpful.
Mm-hmm.
Like, so she was okay with it. But then when we got there yesterday, he was like, they hard sell you on the extras, right?
Mm-hmm.
So they had like a thing. It was like a basic package. This wasn't even like to the extended warranty. It was like a basic extra care package. Then there's an advanced.
Oh, yeah.
So the basic one was like little rust undercoat protection and like the paint protection film layer thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, that actually might be worth it. Like if I was getting a brand new car, I might do that. So she was like, yeah, okay, I'll do that. And then he came back and was like, so what do you think? She's like, I'm going to go with the basic one, the cheapest one. He's like, well, why don't you just go up to the higher package? Because it has this and this and this and this. And he's talking for like freaking 10 minutes. And she's like, no, I'm just going to stay with the basic one. He's like, okay. But the extended warranty push was so much worse even because like he went out and was showing us all the different buttons and features in the car and stuff, how to set it all up, whatever. And then he's like, I don't want to scare you, but like it's a Toyota, the engine and transmission are going to be really solid, but it's got all these electronics. Something might go wrong. So when you go talk to the finance lady, she's going to offer you extended warranty, maybe something to consider. So then he left. We started walking over to the finance lady. And I was like, I knew what was coming. So I was like, do you want an extended warranty at all? And she's like, no. I was like, okay. I'm glad I know before we walk in there so I can have your back,
Yep.
And so we walk in. She shows us the options for the extended warranty and gives us a whole spiel. Electronics could go out. That's like $4,000 when they bring it in. Not going to be covered after 2-year warranty, whatever. And so Alyssa's like, yeah, no, I think I'm okay. I'm just going to stick with the 2-year warranty. She's like, are you sure? I know it looks like a lot, and you're going to be really mad when this goes out. The electronics just stop working. It's $4,000. Like she kept saying that because I think like the minimum extra thing was like $3,000, right? And Alyssa's like, no, I really don't think I'm interested. She's like, what do you think, Tim? I was like, nah, it's probably not worth it. She's like, well, what is it? Is it like you don't think you're going to get the value out of it? You don't like whatever. I'm like, no, I don't think it'd be worth it, right? And she literally like went back and forth with us like 5 times.
Oh my
And then
God.
finally she was like, okay, and just moved on. But I'm like, why do they do that? So then I did some Googling when we got home.
They make all their money there.
Yeah. So when they sell a brand new car, their margins are like really bad. They don't make very much money at all. And especially when you order it through them and have to pay, and they have to sell it to you at MSRP, right?
Yep.
So like if they just get a new car on the lot, they can mark it up.
Yep.
But if you order it, they sell it to you at MSRP. Anyway, the extended warranty is such a scam. Because like it's not a warranty through Toyota. It's not like the 2-year whatever 1,000-mile warranty. It's through a separate company, like third-party company.
Yep.
Who gives the salesman or like the finance department whatever 50% of whatever the cost of the warranty is. So what you do, like if you want to get something covered on there, I think it was like something crazy like 10-year 120,000-mile extended warranty. But it's not a warranty. It's a service contract where like you have to go into the Toyota dealership, get whatever fixed, and then you pay for it up front and have to try and get reimbursed from this third-party company. So they just try to fight you on whatever you end up having to pay for it. So it's like such a scam.
Yeah. I mean, so here's my opinion on warranty, and then with salespeople. First, warranty. A warranty, in my opinion, is if you're pushing a warranty, you don't believe in your product.
Yeah.
And
That's
so,
what it felt like. Yeah.
So that's where, and this is what I learned this in high school because we had a high school business teacher and she told me this.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out to Mrs. Bates. She said, if you're pushing like a $120 dishwasher warranty, whatever, 2-year warranty, you're betting your product is going to fail in 2 years. That's what you're betting. That's what they are betting by selling you a warranty.
Mm-hmm.
And so she always said, you think your product's going to fail in 2 years? Well, and then it puts them on the defensive. Well, no. Then why the hell would I buy it? Well, just in case. In case what? Your product fails, so you do think it's going to fail. So it's like, so she always, like, she's like, warranty is the dumbest effing thing ever. You have the standard warranty that comes with everything, but
Yeah.
if it fails in that time, it's covered. If it doesn't, like, so anyway, so that stuck with me from high school onward. I was like, yeah, warranties are garbage unless you're buying a garbage product, right?
Yeah.
Salespeople. So, I've had a really bad experience with salespeople. So there's this dude. His name I think is Matt. I'm gonna throw him under the bus. His name is Matt, I think. I call him Little Matt because he's a short dude at Walzer Honda. At the time, he was at Walzer Honda. I think he's now at Walzer Nissan because I think I saw him there recently.
Mm.
But I leased, in college, I leased a Honda because I was driving a Saturn SL1, a 95 Saturn. My parents said it wasn't reliable for those 30 below winters and driving back to Minnesota in college.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, I can't afford to buy a car. I'll lease, whatever. So I leased a 2014 Honda Accord. Loved that thing. It was awesome.
Mm-hmm.
At the end of my lease, I said, hey, I want to buy it. And they're like, this little Mac guy is like, well, you can get a brand new one for, for the same price or it's more expensive, but the payment's less. And I said, I don't really care. I don't like the way the new model looks. I said, I want to buy this lease. And he looked at me like I was stupid. And he's like, do you not understand? And he really whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And so he pissed me right off. So then I did a bad financial decision. I went next door and found a used Kia Cadenza, which was a really nice car.
That's what you had when I first met you.
Yeah.
And I lived with you.
Nice. It's a nice car.
Yeah.
I don't know if they make the Cadenza anymore. I don't think they do, but they were trying to kind of branch into the higher tier market Kia was.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, so it had cooled seats, it had heated seats, it had the whole deal, right? And it was cheaper than the Honda. And so it was used same year. No one bought the Cadenza. That's why the market value was so low. So I was like, oh. So I rage bought that and said, get me out of this freaking Honda, get me into this thing now. And that was my validation, is going over to Honda and saying, here's the fucking keys to the car that I wanted to buy. And they were like, was I not clear? That's what the first thing the guy said to me, was I not clear? And I said, fuck you. Here's your shit. Deal with it. And so, anyway, so with that, I've now learned how I want to be treated.
Yeah.
And so when I'm planning on buying a vehicle probably in December or something like that.
Yeah.
I'm going to be like, I want this, this, this. And if they try to upsell me, I'm going to say, did I stutter?
Yeah.
I said, I don't want an upsell. I don't want this, this, this. I want this. And if they keep pushing back, I'm going to say, you know what? The hell with you. I'm going to someone else.
Yeah.
I have zero tolerance for upsells and bullshit because it's I said, I know what you're doing. I get it.
Yeah.
I understand. I said, but you need to listen to what I want. I'm fucking right.
Yeah.
I'm the customer.
Yeah.
And it's if you don't listen to what I have to say, then I don't have to listen to you.
Yeah. It was just especially with the second, the upsell where she just was literally 5 times where we said no and she kept going. I just wanted to be I'm telling you I don't want it and I want you to respect that.
Yeah.
It just felt it was very annoying.
I deal with hardcore people trying to sell stupid crap all the time with my day job.
Yeah.
Like stuff I don't need or whatever. When I get to the point that you guys are at, I'll say it once, and if I'll give them a shot across the bow where I was like, I said no. If you bring it up again, we're going to have a different kind of conversation.
Yeah.
And I'm going to make it very crystal clear where it's like, you know what? I want to walk away from this, and then you have to come back with a cheaper price if you want me to buy it. Because I will not fucking tolerate it. I'm hardcore. I'm hardcore when it comes to people not listening to me, because it's like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, no is no, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's like, oh, you know what? If you ask me 3 more times, maybe I'll say yes.
I'm not going to just give in and give you $3,000.
Yeah. Like, honestly, like, I might either take the hardcore, like, toe a hard line and say, you ask me again, I walk. Or you come back with a cheaper price. Or I do option 2 where I say, let's have this conversation for about 30 more minutes before I consider it. Do you want to do that? And then I'll just be an asshole. I'll be the freaking biggest asshole on the planet. And I don't like being an asshole, I'll tell you that. But I will. I fucking will. Some people need to understand. That's the thing. So, you guys that took the high road, bless you. But I toe a hard line when it comes to being how I be treated.
The thing is, they would have called your bluff yesterday because, like I was saying, they could have taken Alyssa's car that she was paying the MSRP and sold it. They'd been like, okay.
Yeah. So that's the other conundrum, right? So Toyota, they can't keep cars on the lot because people are buying them right up. So it's like that wouldn't really work, right?
Yeah.
But it's like the principle for me. It's a principle. Yeah. I'm also looking at a Honda, so don't hate me.
It's pretty crazy though, because like I bet just the one dealership that Alyssa got her car at, like whatever it was a month ago, the salesman told her that it was getting built.
Mm-hmm.
So she was monitoring their website, like looking at all the RAV4 hybrids coming in. I bet they had 50 RAV4 hybrids delivered to that dealership in the last month.
I believe
and they're all already sold. Like, it's just crazy.
You look at the trend chart of like inventory for all the main autos.
Yeah.
Toyota, Honda, I think there's a couple other ones that like Honda, Toyota is like eons above everyone else where they have no inventory.
Yeah.
Because people are just buying them that fast.
Yeah.
And it's like that's the best problem to have as a manufacturer.
Yeah.
Is you have no inventory sitting.
Yeah.
It's so, but then it's like you look at like Volkswagen. Oh, it's like they just have nothing but cars on the lot.
Yeah.
And it's like, so if you're looking for a deal, it's like find that chart and find the people that are just sitting on 90 days of inventory. And it's like, oh my gosh, where Toyota's sitting at like 8. That's just amazing to think about.
Yeah. I think my next vehicle, I've decided like 2 years ago, it's going to be a compact pickup truck because Ford released the Maverick, and they have a hybrid version that gets like 40 miles a gallon.
Damn.
And I'm like, that's the only kind of pickup truck I need. Like, I do woodworking as a hobby, so having a sedan kind of sucks because whenever I want to get like sheet goods, I got to call my friend Sam and ask him to borrow one of his trucks, which he's happy to do.
Yeah.
And I am very thankful for. But it's a pain in the ass. Like, I want to just be able to be like, oh, I need a sheet of plywood, hop in my truck, go to Home Depot, you know?
Yep.
And the only problem is the Ford Maverick hybrid does not come in all-wheel drive, and it seems dumb to get a truck that's not all-wheel drive. I say that as a person that had a truck that was not all-wheel drive or like four-wheel drive.
In the Midwest where there's snow and weather,
right?
Like all-wheel drive or four-wheel drive as an option is kind of, it's a no-brainer.
Yeah.
Like there was a bunch of dudes that from affluent families that were like, I'm going to be a pilot, that went up to North Dakota. They bought a brand spanking new truck from Texas with just rear-wheel drive. And everyone from the Midwest is like, you are the dumbest person on the planet. You think just because you have a pickup, you can like conquer anything? You're the dumbest person ever. And they're like, I'm from Texas, I'm right. It's like, well, we'll find out in the wintertime when my 95 Saturn SL1 is ripping everywhere and you're like stuck.
My first car that I ever owned was a 2000 Ford Ranger. It was like the regular cab, so there was just 2 doors, and it was a long bed. So, and it was rear-wheel drive. So the long bed, rear-wheel drive, tiny truck was a terrible combination because the bed was so light, it would like fishtail in the rain. Like it would lose traction in the rain. So in the winter, it was crazy. But I mean, I never really had issues actually driving that thing around. Now that I think about it.
Until the mariachi band hit you.
Yep, till the mariachi band hit me.
I was going to ask, so the Maverick, the way it gets 40 miles a gallon, is it like a inline 4 turbo or something? Like
yeah, it's
Gutless Pig kind of thing?
It's a 4-cylinder hybrid.
Okay.
So there's like the electric engines too.
Right on, yeah.
Honestly, I'm not sure how the hybrid part works, but there is a battery.
There's so much different technology, hybrid technology out there now.
Okay,
like,
I guess I've never ridden in a hybrid car or like thought about it.
You never thought about riding in a hybrid car?
We got in Alyssa's car yesterday. She hits the start button. The engine doesn't turn on. It just sits there and runs on the battery. Isn't that weird?
It is crazy.
Yeah.
It's even crazier to think about that when like in the wintertime.
Yeah.
When it's like, okay, it's blowing heat or it warms up, but it like you know what I mean? It's just a weird concept, but yeah. It's crazy. I do want to take a look at that, by the way.
Yeah, we can go check it out after this.
Yeah.
Unless she left.
What else do you got?
Oh, okay. I see. I wrote down a couple things from the honeymoon. I was gonna share with you.
I mean, nothing too crazy.
No, nothing too crazy. We went to Hawaii again. We went to Maui, Kauai, and Oahu. And I think my favorite day that we had there, in the morning, got up, went and got coffee, went and sat on the beach, drank my coffee. And we were staying at an Airbnb that was at a condo right by, I didn't know it. I didn't like totally appreciate it at the time, but probably one of the best snorkeling beaches in the world. And so we went and got coffee right next door, went and sat on the beach, enjoyed my coffee. Then we had surf lessons before lunch.
Mahalo.
So we went out, mahalo. We went surfing, and that was super fun. We came back, got some lunch, and then we went snorkeling.
What'd you have for lunch?
Honestly, I don't remember.
Not important, I guess.
Must not have been notable that day.
Philly cheese sandwich.
No. I was just telling somebody at work yesterday that he was from Hawaii. I was like, I think I ate more raw fish in like a week period that I was in Hawaii than I have like the last 3 years.
I believe it.
It's so good. But so we did that, surfing. Then we went snorkeling in the bay, and there's 3 things that happened while we were snorkeling. One, so we saw sea turtles like from the beach. We could see them like their heads bobbing. They were like slamming off the rocks and stuff because they're just getting thrown around by the waves. And so we were like out in the water snorkeling around, and I came out of the water and was like talking to Alyssa. We were just like kind of waiting or whatever. And all of a sudden I felt something smack me, like hit my snorkel into my head. And I like literally everyone, like if you get in the water, everyone says like, do not touch a sea turtle. If you see a sea turtle, stay like 50 feet away, right?
Yeah.
They're like, because if you touch them, your bacteria from your skin could get on them and they'll die. Like that's how the conversation goes every time.
Okay.
They're like, do not touch the sea turtles. They will die.
Okay.
Right? So I feel something smack me in the head, and I'm like, immediately my brain's like, it's a turtle. Like I just pictured the turtle fin coming up and hitting me. Right? So I like got in the water and just went whoosh, like swam as fast as I could, like for 10, 15 feet.
Sure.
And I turn around and I'm like, there's nothing there. And I look at Alyssa and she's like, what the hell was that? I was like, I got hit by something. I thought it was a turtle. And I'm like, all I see, bunch of fish. I'm like, I think a fish just jumped out of the water and smacked me in the head. And she thought it was the funniest thing. She like, but must have been the look on my face, like panic, like I just killed a turtle.
I just killed a turtle.
Yeah.
Or did the turtle commit suicide?
Could be.
Jumped at a human, knowing the bacteria kills them.
Could be. But then, so the bay is pretty big. It's Napili Bay. And it's like nice and kind of protected. Like it's a big kind of horseshoe shaped. So the whole bay is filled with rocks and coral and stuff. And like tons of like spots for fish to just cruise around.
Okay.
And you can just like with saltwater, I was kind of surprised by this. I guess I really shouldn't have been, but just with my little snorkel and flippers, you can kind of just float along the top of the water and just kind of like slowly swim and like look around and stuff. So it's pretty easy to snorkel around.
Are you the hardcore, I don't want a quick question.
Yeah.
Are you the hardcore snorkeler where you dive 20 feet and then get the water in the thing and then you come up and then blow out the water? And
I did. So when we were there, it wasn't that deep. It was like maybe 10 feet deep there. But we did on Oahu, we did a tour and went snorkeling there. And there was a family that was on our tour with us that there's a bunch of them that met and they lived in Oahu, and they were all like white people, right? But they lived on Oahu. They all met and were like friends because they were racing sailboats on the island. And then they all left to I think they lived in like South Carolina or something. And they're like, I heard the guy talking to our tour guide. He was like, yeah, we lived here. We loved it. But then my wife got pregnant and we said, we can't raise a kid here. So they moved to South Carolina, whatever. Nice. And then they just came back and were visiting, met up with everybody. It was pretty cool. But he's like this like classic dad bod, big dude. And he was just like diving down like 20 feet snorkeling. And I was like, that was cool. So I started trying to do it, but I wasn't very good at it. Anyway.
Okay, that was number one.
That was the first thing that happened.
Number two.
Got smacked by a fish. Number two, we got out of the water. We're just hanging out on the beach for a while. Got back in. We still saw a bunch of turtles like bouncing off the rocks and stuff. So we kind of tried to stay away from that area.
Kind of, but not.
Like stayed out farther from where they were.
Okay.
And we're like snorkeling around. The problem with snorkels is like it kind of covers up the side of your eyes. So you lose a little bit of your peripheral vision. And I turned and there was a giant sea turtle like, I don't know, 6 feet from me. And Alyssa saw at the same time I did. And so I turned and just swam away. And then we turned back and just watched it. Like it was the dichotomy of the sea turtles on the beach just like smacking up against the rocks. And then this guy like just gliding through the water, like through the waves and stuff. It was so funny. But it was cool to just like be that close to this giant turtle.
How big was it? The size of this table here? Bigger? Smaller?
Yeah, I bet it was like from head to tail. I bet it was 4 feet. It was huge. But
damn.
Yeah. So that was number two. Number three, we were probably snorkeling in this bay for 2 hours, right?
Right.
An hour and a half into it, we saw this fish, and it was like, I told Alyssa afterwards, it was the most beautiful animal I've ever seen in my entire life. Like, both of us just saw it and started following it. Like, we're underwater, we're not communicating, we just both saw it and just followed it for like 15 minutes, I swear.
Wow.
I'm pretty sure, I was trying to figure out, even afterwards, we were trying to look up what kind of fish it was. And we couldn't do it because like none of the pictures online that we could find were like as beautiful as it was in person. I'm pretty sure.
Was it a color? Did it have colors? Or?
Yeah, it was like a rainbow gradient. So there's like blues that fade into green, fade into yellow, into orange, into red, into purple, into blue again.
Wow.
But
bougie. I
think I found it. I'm pretty sure it was a pale nose parrotfish. I got a picture. I'll show you. And even the picture is not as beautiful as it was in person.
How big would you reckon that is?
I bet it was like 18 inches long.
So like a little shorter than like the size of that Minnesota up there, or like a little shorter than the
Yeah, a little shorter than the Minnesota, yeah.
Okay.
But
bougie.
We just like in the sun shining in, it
Yeah.
just like sparkled as it was swimming too.
And it was solo, so
yeah, there was just one of them. There was another one that I think was the same fish, but it wasn't nearly as beautiful as this one. It was more like just yellow and green.
like an ugly twin.
Yeah.
Okay.
But it was so cool. I was like, I said to Alyssa afterwards, I was like, I almost couldn't believe that was a real animal that we just saw. Like, I don't know how to explain it. It's just, even this picture, it looks insane.
Is that a male or female?
I believe this is a female.
So do you think the males are prettier?
The males
Like
are
a
less, at least of the pale-nosed parrotfish. The males are less pretty. They're less colors.
They're ugly. Okay.
Yeah.
Interessante. That's cool.
It was incredible though. I couldn't believe it. I was like, I don't know how to explain it. I knew, like, even as I was talking to Alyssa, who experienced it with me afterwards, I was like, it sounds so ridiculous that I'm so obsessed with this fish that I saw for like 10 minutes, you know? Like, I couldn't get over how amazing it looked. It was pretty cool.
And did she feel the same, or was she like, okay, Tim, well, it was pretty, but psycho?
No, she also thought it was amazing, which was good.
I mean, if you both,
it made me feel better.
If you both didn't communicate underwater, you just were both like following it on instinct,
right,
or whatever,
yeah.
right? I mean,
yeah, exactly.
That thing could have been like leading you to like a.
It was actually swimming towards the beach, though, so I knew we were safe. But
you're so mesmerized, you didn't know.
Yeah. The other thing, when we were there last time, we went on a whale watching tour with a company called Dolphins Excursions. And their whole thing is, if you don't see a dolphin, you get to come back for free. And when we were there, I talked about this on the last podcast, or like after we were there.
Episode 33.
We saw a baby whale, and it was so cool.
Not a dolphin.
But not a dolphin. So they're like, we got off the boat. They're like, yeah, just head up to the shop. They'll give you your vouchers to come back for free. I was like, what? Because we saw the whale. We went snorkeling with turtles. And they're like, you get to come back for free. I'm like, this is so sick. So we flew back on Oahu because it was cheaper. And I'm like, might as well use our free vouchers, right? So literally as the boat is leaving the bay, or like the harbor, they're like, I feel like this is cheating, but there's a bunch of spinner dolphins right here. But they were seeping. So they were just kind of like doing their little bobs in the water. Because apparently they sleep half of their brain at a time. So they can still be wary of predators around them. She was telling us that, like, they'll sleep in pairs, one on the left, one on the right.
Oh.
The one on the left has his right brain off. The one on the right has her left brain off, so the outsides are still aware of what's going on.
Super interesting.
Kind of cool.
Really cool.
So they're like, we sat and watched them. Kind of boring. They're just kind of like bobbing through the water. And because I think spinner dolphins are like more protected or whatever, so you couldn't get very close to them. Then we went out. She's like, okay, now that we found that, let's go see if we can find something else. So we go out way deeper, like 3,000 feet of water, and driving around on the boat for like an hour. And she's like about to give up. And then there's a pod of spotted dolphins, like a huge pod. And they like to play with the boat. So they'll like come over like right in front of the boat as it's cruising around. So that was sick. And she's like, so I'm going to try. It was like, I'm not joking. I bet this pod was like 1,000 dolphins.
Whoa.
It was really spread out, but like they just kept coming. And she's like, I'm going to try to get ahead of them because they're kind of just traveling the same direction. And then if you want, you can jump in the water and try and snorkel with them. And she's like, and people always ask, are there sharks? She's like, this is 3,000 feet of water. There's 100% chance there's sharks below you, right? Like,
yeah.
The other guide was like, yeah, when we do this, like 1 in 10 times we see the sharks. Like you physically can see them. Like they're that close. And So there was 15 people on our tour with us. Only 3 of us got in the water. It was me, one of the Hawaii dads, and his son, who was like, I think they said it was like his high school graduation present was going on this trip.
And
So
Belinda was like, hell no.
yeah, I was taking pictures or whatever, and so then I was like, "Are you gonna get in?" She's like, "No way." So I'm like, "Okay, I'm going." And so we all got in. Like, she stopped the boat. She's like, 3, 2, 1, go. We jump in, and she's like, "Okay, there's a group coming, like right on the back, like coming right towards the back of the boat." And so I turned and looked that way. There's like, I don't know, 4 dolphins or whatever, and they kind of like, she's like, don't swim at them because they'll turn and swim away or like swim to the side. Just like let them swim to you.
Okay.
So they kind of were like coming at us at an angle and turned and went off the side of the boat. I bet they were like 30 feet in front of where I was snorkeling. So that was pretty cool being able to see them underwater.
Yeah.
And I was in the water at that point for like a couple minutes and no more were coming. And I didn't know this, but I guess in the boat, the captain was like, kind of sucks that they only got to see 4. And Belinda was like, 4 more than he would have seen in Minnesota. And she starts laughing, whatever. And then, so there was two guides, the captain that was driving the boat, whatever.
Yeah.
And then another one that just was like helping out. And she got in the water with us. So there's 4 of us in the water. And so she starts calling them out. She's like, oh, there's another group coming from over here, whatever. And they start coming, whatever, blah, blah, blah. Then she just goes, oh, there's more down below. And I look down, and I'm like, wow, there's like 12 of them. And then more just started coming out from deeper in the ocean where like you couldn't see them.
Oh, my gosh.
And in that group, I started counting them. I was like, oh, there's 12. And then there's 4 more. Oh, there's 6 more. There was probably 30 just in that group alone. And then they just kept coming. That whole, like, we were in the water for maybe 15 minutes. I bet I saw 75 dolphins.
Damn.
Yeah. But it was pretty freaky when they start. There was some that were swimming directly at us. And then they start, like, dipping down to just try and stay out of your way.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm watching them. They're coming at me. They probably got within 20 feet before they start dipping down. Go right below me. I watched them the whole time. And they just get deeper and deeper and deeper until they disappear. Like, that's freaky.
That's spooky, yeah.
Yeah.
The ocean is spooky.
Yeah. That was pretty cool.
What kind of sharks were they? Mako?
No, she said they're probably, what did she call them?
Tiger.
No, they weren't tiger sharks. I think she said they were spotted sharks.
Okay.
I don't know if that's real because they were spotted dolphins, so maybe I'm just misremembering that. But
Leopard sharks or whatever.
yeah, I don't know.
Made that up. I don't know if that's a real shark.
I think it is. But there was also I think it was on Maui. Yeah, Malo Wharf, where there's like this old like bridge dock thing that a bunch of reef sharks hang out at. So I asked Alyssa if she wanted to go snorkeling there. She's like, no thanks.
You're like, YOLO, I'm going to go there.
Yeah, no, it was cool.
Damn, that sounds super cool. Yeah, it's
So those are like my 2 favorite things. Probably like the day we went. Oh, I didn't even mention. We went surfing, snorkeling in the bay with the cool fish. Then we went. So this is kind of a tangent that doesn't really matter, but I think is interesting. I have a separate Twitter account that I use just to keep up with crypto stuff. Right? There's a guy that follows me who lives in Maui.
Do you tweet on that account?
Yeah, occasionally, like not that often. I mean, more than I tweet on my personal Twitter account. But
you can open a Threads.
No, I did not, but I could.
Sorry, continue.
There's a guy that follows me that I knew that lived in Maui. So I DM'd him. I was like, hey, I'm going to be in Maui for my honeymoon. I was like, you got any recommendations of like things to do, restaurants, whatever?
Yeah.
And like the one thing that he recommended the most was this restaurant in Lahaina on Maui called the Lahaina Grill. He was like, it literally just got rated by TripAdvisor the #1 fine dining restaurant in the country. And I was like, okay. So he told me early enough that I'm like, I'll just make a reservation. So I did. And have you watched the new season of The Bear?
No.
Have you watched any of it?
No.
Okay. It's really good. You should watch it.
Is that on Hulu?
Yeah.
I don't have Hulu. I'm a commoner.
That's okay. It's very good, though.
Okay.
It's about a restaurant. Anyway, so this isn't even a spoiler, but in the second season, one of the guys goes to this other super fancy restaurant in Chicago just to, like, shadow them, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, they take it so seriously. They're like, this restaurant's so special. Every single person that's coming here, they've been looking forward to this for, like, weeks, right? So they try to make it such an incredible experience for everyone that's there.
Okay.
And this is in the show. So they, like, do research on the people that are coming that day.
Okay.
So they found, like, they're like, oh, there's these 2 teachers. One of them posted on Instagram story that she's so excited about this. They've been saving up to come here. They're like, we're going to blow their fucking minds. And so they, like, go all out for these 2 teachers. They don't even really show it in the show.
Mm-hmm.
They just, like, you hear it in the background. And they're like, thank you so much for dining with us today. I want to let you know there's going to be no tab. It's on us.
Oh, nice.
And they're like, what? Like, blew their minds, right?
Yeah.
And there's another one where, like, he goes walking by one of the tables, and he's like, I heard him say they're bummed they're leaving Chicago tomorrow and they haven't had any deep dish. So he literally runs down the street to, like, his favorite deep dish place, gets him a pizza, they bring it back and, like, kind of deconstruct it and make it look fancy, bring it out, drop it off at the table. They're like, you heard me say that? No way. And they're like, this is so good. They're like, eating the deep dish pizza at this fine dining restaurant. And Alyssa and I watched that on the plane to Hawaii. And we went to this restaurant. And it was, like, the closest to that experience I've ever had, because the owner of the restaurant's, like, walking around.
Yep.
And he's, like, talking to all the tables. And he comes over and he's like, hey, my name's whatever. I'm the owner.
What's his name?
I don't remember.
Oh.
He's like, I'm the owner of the restaurant. I just want to make sure everything's going well. He's like, is this your first time here? And he was talking to one of the other tables, and he said he didn't even ask him. He said, welcome back. So, like, he must have recognized that they'd been there before,
Sure.
which is cool.
Super cool.
And he's like, are you guys celebrating anything? And Alyssa's like, yeah, we just got married, whatever. He's like, oh, thank you for coming here to celebrate with us, whatever. And then he walks away and goes talks to somebody else. And after we got done eating, our waiter came by. He's like, we wanted to do this for you just as a congratulations from us. And thanks for celebrating here. He brought us a piece of pie. And I was like, that was cool. Like,
Yeah.
that he would remember our table, like the owner or whatever, go back and tell them, hey, get them some dessert for free.
Get 'em pie.
Yeah.
Damn.
It's $22 piece of pie, too.
Was it worth it?
It not worth $22, but it was good.
There you go.
It was like, yeah, mixed berry or something.
Bougie.
It was very good.
Cool. That's awesome. Especially when you, like, hear from a DM guy that you've never actually met. He follows you.
Yeah.
That's really sick.
Yeah, it was cool.
Maybe it was the owner of the restaurant.
No, it's not.
Okay.
Because he's like, my account is not, like, tied to Tim the person at all.
Oh,
but
it's
his
Tim the
his
idea.
account actually is his name and picture and stuff. But yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Dude, that's sick.
Yeah, it was so cool.
Sounds like
Now it makes me want to go to, like, other fancy restaurants to compare, because not really my scene, but
in Hawaii or
anywhere.
Bougie.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. Well, dude, yeah. Well, it sounds like a good ass honeymoon.
It was sweet. Yeah, it was great.
2 weeks. Again, I want to, for the record, I thought you weren't coming back.
It would be cool to, like, I was talking to Belinda about it. Like,
And she's like,
I couldn't live there all year long, but to just have, like if you bought a vacation rental. I was watching the news while we were there, and they said that on the entire state of Hawaii, there's like 6 million full-time residents. There's 850,000 vacation rental units.
Yeah, wow.
Isn't that crazy?
That's a lot.
And, like, during COVID, they were only half full.
What?
Yeah, like,
Wow.
on average, which,
I guess it doesn't surprise me, but
yeah,
at the same time it does.
which that makes me think, like, when we were there it was like the end of COVID, right? It was February 2022. So like everybody had the chance to be vaccinated at that point. And so like you could go to Hawaii if you were vaccinated. But like
you couldn't leave.
no, you could leave, but like compared to now, there's no one there. Like also on Oahu, we stayed in Honolulu, like downtown, like Waikiki, like 2-minute walk from the beach, right?
A lot of syllables, but yeah.
Yeah. But it was also on the 4th of July. So that also could have been part of it. But from the street, you could not see the water at Waikiki Beach. Like, that's how packed it was. There was tents and, like, so many people, you couldn't see the water from the street. Where
in February or this time?
This time.
Oh, okay.
Where, like, February, it was, like...
dead.
Yeah.
Okay.
It seemed busy then because there were so many people, like, hundreds of people on this beach.
Mm-hmm.
But, like, I bet there was thousands this time.
Damn.
Yeah, it was crazy. So basically what I'm saying, you could have a vacation rental unit there and probably always be booked. But like, and then you could just have it there. You could go for like 2 months in the winter.
Yeah.
And stay there.
Hot damn. Damn, that's cool.
Goals.
Bougie. Yeah, there you go. Cool. What else you got?
Fun fact I learned about Hawaii from when we were in Kauai. There's a bunch of books about Hawaii there that I was reading.
That is a fun fact.
Yeah. Do you know how many letters there are in the Hawaiian alphabet? Would you care to wager a guess?
Is it higher or more or less than 26?
What do you think?
I'm asking you to give me a baseline because that'll structure my guess.
Less.
13.
That's very close. There's 12.
Damn.
They have A-E-I-O-U. That's 5. Let's see if I can remember them all. W, K, N, M, H. I'm missing 2.
J.
L. Did I say K?
Yeah.
I said H and N and M. I don't remember. There's only 12. Isn't that crazy?
So that's why it's always the Hakawakatakawa or
Yeah. Yeah.
Honolulu,
Yeah.
not Yahoo.
Actually, I also learned once you can read a little bit of Hawaiian, it's very easy to read it because all of the vowels make the same noise. So all O's sound like Honolulu. Hono. It's not Honolulu. It's Honolulu.
Okay.
All the U's make oo noises.
Okay.
All the A's make noises. All the I's make I noises. I like I
or it?
like Waikiki. So all the I's make I noises. What am I missing? E's make, I think E is literally E. Like
3 on E.
Yeah. Anyway.
So you're fluent in Hawaiian is what I'm hearing.
No.
Hawaiianese, is that what it's called?
I think it's just Hawaiian.
Okay.
I did learn a lot of new Hawaiian words.
Such as?
Poo-poo means appetizer. And I think
is that P-U-P-U?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like a poo-poo platter. He also said PP, I think means grandma. So it's like your PP makes a poo-poo. Something like that.
Who's he?
Or maybe
who's he? Who
told
it
you
was
this?
one of like this is a joke. He's like, this gringo, he doesn't know what he's talking about.
It's one of our guides. Or maybe PP was cow.
Yeah, that sounds right.
I don't remember.
Interessante.
So yeah.
Cool. I got nothing else. I mean, that was
I don't know how. I have no idea how long we've been going. Seems like it's been a long one.
Like an hour and 25.
We're making up for lost time after deleting our last episode. It's like both you and I were like that seemed like a good one, and I even made a joke. I was like, "Oh, it didn't record," and I'm like, "It's gonna happen one of these times." but it actually didn't record the audio.
I still think we should just post the video and let people dub over it, or dub an old episode,
just like replace the audio.
like episode 16 or something. Just
I'll pick one. I'll pick one that was
Mike's
longer.
off. Mike's off.
Smart.
I don't know if that's smart or not.
I
But
like it.
anyway,
I'm probably not going to do that.
yeah, that's fine. I don't care. But yeah, so well, thank you, Couch Beers Republic, for listening, and you can find us on YouTube.
And loving.
YouTube
Music
has podcast now.
Follow us on Instagram, CouchBeersPod. CouchBeersPodcast@gmail.com.
We're not starting a Threads account.
Or
yet.
are we?
More to come.
Like the video if we should start a Threads account.
Yeah. For every like, we'll consider it.
One more time. For one more second.
Thanks, y'all.
Yep. See ya.
Bye.